I'm going to share a message with you today that I think is pretty important right now. And we're going to explore how to be healthy. There's a lot of, obviously, conversation about that right now, a lot of media about that right now, a lot of um, manipulation about that right now. So we're gonna explore how to be healthy. We're gonna take our time. We're gonna be able to dive in deep. We'll have space for any questions you have, anything that you'd like to explore, anything that you'd like to dive into. It's an interactive space as always. I'm on Universal Awakening Live right now, which I haven't done in a while, so it's good to be here. It's good to connect with all of you from all around the world. When you're entering, you can let me know where you are in the world. Where are you right now? Where are you coming from? Love to hear where people are. As we all are interconnected, we're all a part of this unified field of intelligence, whether we recognize it and realize it or not. But we want to recognize it and realize it, because then it becomes a lot more fun and magical and miraculous and dynamic. And that's kind of what the exploration is here. That's what the invitation is to explore and delve into. My name is Brian Piergrossi. I'm a personal life coach, teach meditation, mindfulness, tantra practices, mastermind groups, retreats, workshops, support people on their path to awakening, self-realization, self-actualization, integration of all the various parts of ourselves, so we recognize the divinity that's within us, divinity that's outside of us, and we can actualize ourselves and empower ourselves to be the true expression of what we're here called to be in this world. And this is the time to step up. This is the time to step up. This is the time to step forward. This is the time to be all we're here to be in the world and to do all we're here to do in the world. So it's my pleasure and joy to support you in that journey, whether you are familiar with me or just getting familiar with me. You're in the right place at the right time for the right reason, and welcome. Thanks for being here. Let's just take one deep breath together. Let's inhale and exhale. And let's explore what it means to be healthy. Right? What does it mean to be healthy? People want to be healthy. Everybody wants to be healthy. Who doesn't want to be healthy? Everybody wants to be healthy, right? What does it mean to be healthy? How do you be healthy? So health, the way I look at it, is all the parts of yourself. So think of your body, your mind, your spirit, or your infinite essence, your awareness, your pure awareness, your emotions, all the parts of yourself are interconnected in a harmonious, intelligent, dynamic composition. So when there's disconnection, there's disease. When there is connection and when there's harmony, there's health. Not harmony just physically, harmony between the cells, harmony between the heart and the brain and the heart, harmony between the lower chakras and the upper chakras and the lower chakras, the ethereal essence of yourself, the primal essence of yourself, the emotional intelligence connected to the thinking mind connected to the emotional intelligence, connecting to the spiritual root, the foundation, the essence of who and what you are. So all these components are harmoniously interconnected, which creates this kind of a symposium of wellness, of health. And there's an intelligence, that a life force that moves through. And then when the individual is healthy, right, then the individual can have healthy relationships. The individual can have healthy relationships. The individual can have a healthy community. The individual can have a healthy environment, right? And it goes both ways, right? Obviously, healthy relationships or healthy people in your life support you to be healthy. You being healthy supports other people to be healthy. You being healthy supports the world around you to be healthy. The world around you being healthy supports you to be healthy. So we start to understand the interconnection, the network that is inherent. Right? And we see ourselves as an empowered, kind of energetic, vibrational frequency life force in this communion of interconnected wholeness. Right? And that's what it means to be healthy. I mean, that awakening in consciousness is the core foundation of health. That awakening in consciousness is the core foundation of health. If you're in a sense of separation, if you're in a sense of division, then you're not in a space of health. So if you're in a space of division within the parts of yourself, right? If your liver is not connected to your kidney, not connected to your heart, not connected to your brain, then you're in a space of disease. But if your thoughts are not harmonious, if you have thoughts fighting with each other, at war with each other, right? Then you're not in a space of health. If you're not at peace, not at rest with the emotions that are moving through you, moment by moment, happiness, sadness, joy, pain, pleasure, then you're not in a space of harmony and health and wholeness, right? Now, the interesting thing is, you're actually always in a space of wholeness, which means you're actually always in a space of health, but you're in a space where the awareness is not there, the recognition is not there, and there's the perception and the experience showing up as disharmony, showing up as disease, showing up as suffering, showing up as resentment, trauma, so forth and so on. Yeah? So we recognize that this is an awakening of consciousness that is the essence of health, wholeness, and wellness. So health, wholeness, and wellness is recognizing that there is inherent health, wholeness, and wellness that is present right now. So how do you become aware of this health, wholeness, and wellness, this unified field of intelligence that is here right now? Well, you would have to become present to the moment. So that's why all the work that I do, the foundation of all the work that I do is, and it's important to recognize this because it may seem like I'm talking about something else or something that's sort of complex or something, which maybe I am, but the root of it, the foundation of it, the heart of it is always being present, always being present. Being present in this moment right now. Being present here in this moment right now. Being alive and awake to this moment right now. Being sentient. Being here. Being here in this moment right now. So if you're here in this moment right now, if you're present in this moment right now, if there's a sense of attentiveness, if there's a sense of awareness, alertness, aliveness, then there is the awareness of the inherent wholeness, of the inherent unified field of intelligence, of the inherent wellness, of the inherent health, wealth, abundance, infinite abundance, beyond anything you could even comprehend with the mind, right? Infinite wealth of abundance that is present in this moment right now. This is where we recognize and realize the magic, the miracle of life that's here right now. So that's the foundation, is to be present. When we're present, we recognize the truth of who we really are, the truth of the universe, the truth of life, the truth of this world that we move through and navigate ourselves through. Being present is the foundation. Being present is the root. Right? So bring people into the space of presence. Bring people into the space of being present in the present moment. And when you're present in the present moment, you recognize and realize, and this is sort of the practice, right? This is the practice, the true practice of meditation, the true practice of mindfulness, the true practice of relationship, the true practice of what we could call spiritual journey, right? An unconditional relationship with the moment. An unconditional relationship with the moment. So intelligence comes not from avoiding, but from embracing. Not from closing, but from opening. Right? Opening and embracing what? The moments. What's happening in the moments? Right? Whatever's happening in the moment, embrace it. Open to it. Be mindful if you're contracting, you're in a space of resistance, you're closing, should and shouldn't, right? An unconditional relationship with the moment, an unconditional relationship with this moment, here and now, in this moment right now. So there's this unconditional relationship with the moment, then there's an embrace of the things that seemed in opposition to each other, that seemed like they were dualities, that seemed like they were divided, separated, good, evil, right, wrong. There's this ability to open and embrace if pain moves through the system, if sadness moves through the system, if anger moves through the system, whatever moves through the system, if joy moves through the system, if bliss moves through the system, if ecstasy moves through the system. Open embrace, right? An unconditional relationship with the moment. Having the awareness and trust of everything being of the same essence, because everything is of the same essence. So we are alert, we're attentive, we're aware, we're noticing what is present in this moment, and a very important component to this is we're relaxed. We're relaxed, and we're in a society, we're in a world, to be honest, that doesn't have a lot of support for relaxation. You kind of have to go somewhere special for that. You have to kind of get away, right? But more and more people are living in urban environments, and they are not areas that support or induce relaxation. They're areas that support and induce stress, anxiety, worry, thinking, right? So we set that intention. We set the intention of, I'm setting the intention, whether it's a meditation or it's taking a walk in nature or it's journaling or it's making space with someone who's on this path with you, or it's doing, coaching sessions, or it's making the space to relax the body, to relax your energetic system, to breathe, to open the heart. And this combination of awareness, attentiveness, so being more highly alert to what's happening in this moment, with deep relaxation. It's the combination of those two factors that brings us into this depth of presence that allows these doors to open. A higher state of alertness in attunement with this deep level of relaxation. So imagine like the highest level of alertness you can possibly have and the deepest level of relaxation you could possibly have. Because if you had a really deep level of relaxation without a super high level of alertness, you'd just be asleep. You'd fall asleep, right? If you have a high level of alertness without any relaxation, then there's this kind of like really like anxiety, stress, panic, But the combination of the two is where the magic is that opens that gateway through the present moment. Through the present moment. And health and wellness, this is something that may be surprising to some of you. Health and wellness and wholeness, maybe you can just stick to that word wholeness, right? Wholeness includes feeling sick sometimes. Wholeness includes feeling pain sometimes. Wholeness includes feeling emotional distress sometimes. Wholeness includes all of it. Otherwise, it's not wholeness. It's just partiality, right? And then you're in this war. You're in this battle between, I want to feel this, I don't want to feel this, I want to, this kind of thing, which creates the division, creates the separation, creates the war, and creates the lack of actual true wholeness. So there's this amazing kind of fun, almost comical paradox to the whole thing, right? Where it's actually with this full embrace of what's arising, this open, relaxed, yet attentive embrace, unconditionally, to what's arising, that we find our wholeness, which was already here and is always here and can never not be here. So this is what it means to be healthy, right? And this is not something you're going to hear from the CDC or the WHO or any epidemiologist or CNN or Fox or ABC or NBC or wherever you get your news from. You're not going to hear this from them, right? But you're hearing it here. You're hearing it here. This is a deeper level of what true health. So this is the deepest level of health and wellness, right? And no mask is going to give you this. No shot is going to give you this. No vaccine is going to give you this. No doctor is going to give you this. Nothing's going to give you this. Nothing's going to give you this except the awareness, the opening within yourself. And it can be valuable to have coaches, mentors, teachers to support you on this path for sure. It's also not necessary. There's people that have woken up to this truth spontaneously, just kind of got blown open walking down the street or looking at a rock or, watching a bird fly across the sky. And there's the integration component, which is what comes second. And that's where some help can especially be valuable. So you kind of get blown open, you get awoken to the narrative that you thought was reality is not reality at all, right? You get blown open, but then how do you integrate where you can function in this 3D world as a human being with being blown open to the truth that you recognize and realize? That's the integration component, and that's what can be really helpful to have support with, because this is not something that's separate from life. It's not something that's separate from your body. It's not something that's separate from anything that you experience in this world. So it will up-level everything. It will up-level your physical health and wellness. It will up-level your relationships. It will up-level your work, your purpose, your finances. It will up-level your sense of friendship, your depth of friendship, your sense of community. It will up-level every component of your life. And if it doesn't up-level every component of your life eventually, I'm not saying initially it can make everything worse. You could end up on a park bench for a while or wherever, these stories with like Eckhart Tolle, there is a journey here, right? But as you integrate, that's the fullness of that's the true non-duality. Right? The true non-duality is there's no separation between spirit and form, spirit and matter, right? They are one. They're one. So this physical world, right? Physical world and the spiritual world are the same exact world. It's not two separate things. That's the kind of the graduation of health and wellness and fulfillment and wholeness. Is to transcend that duality. And again, you're not going to hear this from like the medical establishment. You're not going to hear it from the World Health Organization. You're not going to hear it from the CDC. You're not going to hear it from the hospital that you go to. They're working on a different paradigm. which is fine. We honor that, but we're interested in something that it gets to the root. We're not interested in just addressing the symptom, kind of suppressing the symptom for a while. We're interested in getting to the root. Does that make sense? We can kind of suppress the symptom, then suppress this symptom, then suppress this symptom, keep going around putting out the different fires of the symptoms that arise. But what are the symptoms pointing to? They're pointing to the root of what we're talking about here, of what we're expressing here. Jennifer says, love this. Thank you for your presence as a conscious human. Continue to be the light. Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. If anybody else is on here right now and they want to jump in with any questions or comments, I think it's a very important thing to dive into. I wanted to just dive right in and kind of share what's alive in this time right now. We don't need to be against anybody, right? But we just want to be able to have this time that's challenging for people around the world, that we want it to be a catalyst to dive deeper, to explore deeper, to explore these questions deeper. What really is health, right? What does it really mean to be healthy? What does it really mean to be healthy? By the way, there's nothing wrong with dying either. I mean, that's important to say. Dying is a form of health. We die thousands of times every day. Every day we die 1,000 deaths, 1,000,000 deaths. Every moment is dying. The next moment's being born, right? Birth and death, birth and death. So we got to learn to, part of this health, this wholeness, this wellness is embracing birth and death, embracing birth and death, embracing birth and death, embracing birth and death. Things are dying all around. Walk through a forest. There's all kinds of dead trees and there's new little sprouts coming out of the dead trees, right? So there's nothing wrong with death. There's nothing wrong with dying. It's awesome to die. It's wonderful to die. It's wonderful to be born. It's great to be born. It's a cycle, right? It's a movement. And if you're not embracing one, you're not really embracing the other. So because people are not fully embracing death, the problem is they're not embracing life. Does that make sense? So if you're in a state of perpetual fear, perpetual anxiety about death, then you're not really living. You're not really living. And if you're in a state of fully living, of fully being alive, you're not going to be thinking about death because you're so immersed and engaged in the magic of life. So the two that seem separate are actually one, right? To fully embrace death is to fully embrace life. To fully embrace life is to fully embrace death. You won't hear that in the World Health Organization. You won't hear that from the epidemiologists. You won't hear that from the CDC. You won't hear that at the hospital. You won't hear that from the political establishments around the world, right? But you hear it here. You hear it here if you're searching and inquiring into the deeper truth. And then we need to find each other, and there's a natural resonance, and then we support this consciousness to be fostered and to be anchored inside of us, right? To be fostered, grounded, and anchored inside of us. And there may not be that many of us around the world, but that's okay. However many there is, that's how many there is. We don't need, it doesn't need to be 8 billion people right now, or 7 billion, or 6 billion. It just needs to be whoever it is. It's like trusting the process. That's the beauty of the miracle of this journey that you've come to love so much, is that the right people will find you. The right people will find, and you'll be amazed. It's on a resonant frequency, so the right people find you, right? Jennifer says, a lot have lost faith in the process and are living in that state of fear in every moment. Right. So that's the key, is to awaken ourselves first, and then in doing so, we become a beacon of light for others, and we're just awakening to this sense of wholeness, wellness. I see Helena flashing the hearts there. Hi, Helena. And then from this place, you have an intuitive sense, because there's this immense sense of self-love that emerges, right? There's this immense sense of self-love that emerges. So from this immense sense of self-love that emerges, you start to get an intuitive sense of what kind of food to put in your body, how to take care of your body, how to the need to exercise, the need to move the body, what kind of people to be connecting with, what kind of environments to be putting yourself in, right? All of this starts to become intuitive in a presence of the moment. It's not a thinking thing. It's not a thinking. Thinking is a secondary tool. It's present moment awareness. I call it present moment awareness. So when you're present, the intelligence flows through you in the moment, and you have an intuitive, intelligent awareness that moves through you, unified creative intelligence of how to move, respond, decide, communicate, and co-create in the moment, right? Co-create in the moment. Any questions, comments, reflections? I'll take another sip of water while you're pondering and feeling into all this. It's an incredible energy here right now, so I totally understand if you just want to bathe in the energy and not be too caught in and typing things out. So a great way to dive into everything I'm talking about is the new mastermind group that I have. So I've done this particular structure 3 times now. It's a 3-month commitment. It's 12 sessions together or meetings together once a week for about an hour, just for 5 people. So just come together with 5 people. So you get the sense of really being connected, really feeling intimate, really feeling close with the people that you're connecting with. You really have a bond of support with each other. And you're supporting each other to dive into everything I'm talking about. And then we put a little more emphasis on this group and kind of really looking at the different aspects of your life. So physical, fitness, body, mind, unconscious limiting belief systems, thought patterns, emotional intelligence, your work, that you're doing things that you love, that you're generating financial flow and abundance. In doing so, you sense of having a great sense of community, that you're connected to your family, your sense of home is on point. And then the spiritual, what we call the spiritual being the root, the foundation. Who am I? Why am I here? Why is there suffering? Is there a way to transcend suffering? This is the foundation that allows all these other parts of your life to flower, to bloom, right? So to go deep for the commitment for 3 months with a small group of people, I know a lot of you here feel like you don't have people around you that support you or understand you or get where you're trying to go. And it's really important that you do, actually. And that will happen the more you communicate who you really are and you articulate it and you live it and breathe it. The people that don't resonate will naturally just you don't have to make some kind of a big statement or have some kind of fight. They just naturally are not resonating with you. And then the people that are allowed to come in, right? So this is a chance to have that kind of group of support with you on a consistent basis. And people become lifelong friends from this process together, which is what's important to me, is a sense of community, right? A sense of community. So that's the exciting thing. That'll be opening up here now. So there's a link to join us. And if you have any questions, just send me a private message. I'm happy to talk with people and even by phone and discuss like any questions people have and kind of get a connection and see if it's a good fit. All this is about, it's all relationships, right? It's all relationships. So everything is in relationship with everything else. So it's not to say that this is for every single person on the planet, right? But it could be for you for sure. Especially if you're tuning into this, especially if you've listened this long and you're at this point, I definitely think this would resonate for you. So there's a link to register. You can register right now. And if you have any questions, let me know. There's also personal sessions. I've had some great personal sessions this week. So if there's something that feels more private, confidential, I want to just kind of go deep in a one-on-one focused way, there's that option. There's a link for that too. And depending on what's up for you and what's happening for you, I have a kind of a vast toolbox that I work from. So some people I work more meditation, some people work more embodiment, some people work more the breath. Some people I work more through dialogue, through what we could call counseling, right? Through asking the right questions, through inquiry, through coaching, right? So there's kind of this toolbox, and I just kind of connect with somebody, and I sort of find out where they're at right now, and then we make the strategy, the plan to get them where they need to go and provide that support for them. And oh yes, the weekly meditation, which Helene is in, which is a really beautiful group, and we meet on Wednesdays, and I lead people through a guided meditation in a private Facebook group together, and then we have a space, an interactive space to kind of like a Zoom thing, but Facebook has this kind of Zoom group now where we connect there and support each other. So that's an option too, and a link there to connect. I'm going to take a deep breath and invite you to take a deep breath with me right now. The breath is so important for everything I'm talking about. The breath is the life force that we bring in, and then we exhale that which no longer serves us and no longer necessary. So let's take a deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let's carry this energy forward with us the rest of the day. Any questions, feel free to reach out. You can inquire in the thread. You can inquire with me personally. And I'm holding you in the highest light. And so much appreciation and gratitude for your presence here. So much love for you. And really carry this energy forward with us. And I will see you in the next